Hi everyone, Aryan here. Welcome in this new video tutorial. Today we are going to create this cool section here by using Bricks Builder and AutomaticCSS. Check my description in the video below to know more about my setup. So let's start by going on our Bricks Builder page and click on section. Then I will click section again and then add another container like this. Now we have two containers. And in the first container, select the first one, click the plus button, add a heading, and then in the second container, select it, and then go on display grid and choose grid template columns, 4 columns. Great. Now what we need to do is to add a block like this. And if you open up the structure, you will find block here. With block selected, plus button, I would search for a div this time and open up the block, select the div, you can call it wrapper. Okay, and with the wrapper selected, plus button, search for icon, and then search for heading. And then you can click also on basic text. Great. So now we structured our heading and our card. We have all the elements to build the section. We need to style it only. So first thing, I usually go and click on BAM to make sure everything has a class. So I will call this card like simple card with line. Apply classes. Now everything is organized. And once I done that, I would start by styling this on the top. So let's close the second container and go on the first container. And first thing, with the container selected, make sure align cross axis is like that, and make sure we have some row gap by clicking here, right click, content gap, or you can choose those. Let's try content gap. I just made a mistake. It's not actually the row gap that we need to change. So remove the row gap. You actually need to go on section, and from section on the row gap you get to add the content gap so that the two containers now have some more spacing. Let's go back to our title. Click on the title. And here, HTML tag, you can change it, like HTML tag 1 if you want, or 2. You can also apply a style to the heading, okay, if you want. So font size, you can also change the font size as you wish. I would keep it probably, XXL. In this case, nothing is changing because the default H1 is already this size. Anyway, you set up your font size, and we can also go and get the content and just paste it here. So I am a heading replaced with the content, of course. And if you check, the text is actually bigger. So we can do actually this. You go on style and you can make a calculation. So calc parentheses, get here, multiply 2 and close the parentheses. So now it's a lot bigger. So I can say 1.6 maybe, or 1.5. And then what I would do is layout and width. I would change the width to something smaller. So the width could be like M. And if you choose M, as you can see, now the text is going, to the new line. Then make sure that on typography, the text align is centered. And now we have basically the same result. Great. So of course here you can also set up the line height here as you wish. I won't do much stylings here, so I will leave it to you. Great. So now we need to actually style this, right? The content here. And to do that, you need to click first here on this little icon. You can click this to activate the class, go on content, and you can also, change the icon and the size. I would change the size first. I would say 1.5 sorry, EM. And then here I usually go with brands and say WordPress, and you can choose a WordPress icon like this. And then here I'm going to copy the text innovation like that, and this text here. Oops, no, not this one, this text here, sorry. Great. Okay, once that's done, we can also go on simple cart with line as we named it. So you can close this and just make sure you selected it. And with this selected, open the class, activate the class, and then on row gap, you can add a row gap here. Wait one moment, let's see where we are. Yeah, so basically here we have an issue. I added everything into the wrapper, but I don't want the text basic here, so just remove it from the wrapper and drag and drop it. So make sure the wrapper has only the icon and the heading, and the text basic is here. Okay, and now with simple cart selected, we can now add a row gap, as you can see. This because I wanted to have those two elements close each other, and this a little bit at the bottom, very similar to the design, as you can see. Great. So once you've done that, we need to add some padding and some styling. And to do that, I would really start by if you want to see how it works with a dark background, I would go on the section. Okay, with the section selected, we need to have those two containers basically into one container. So how can we do that? The best thing to do is actually adding a new container or wrap the first container. Let's say I want to call it inner 1, inner 2. I will wrap inner 1 in another container, and I will call this, I will leave it container. So if I open now the container, I have inner 1 inside of it. Now inner 2 is inside of the container. What we need to do now is actually add again the spacing. Okay, so by selecting the container, row gap, right click, content gap again. Okay, wait a moment. So let me see why is not. Let me save and refresh the page. Probably it's a little glitch. Yep. So now it's working fine. Okay. So again, open up this. Now we have inner 1, inner 2. And what we need to do with the container selected is to basically style it and just add a background. Background color, I would go with a dark background, like a black. Okay. And then what you need to do is actually, adding some padding and some borders. So layout, you go on padding here, right click, and you try to look at the space. I think an XL would be great. And of course, click here twice. Okay. And now we need to change the text color here. I will be doing it in a very simple way by clicking on it, and then go on typography and just right click on it, and on text color you click here, the icon. You can you can, if you don't see the elements here, you can check basically in the structure. So the icon color, I would click here to activate the class. The color the color icon, actually you need to change it from the content tab and color. Right click, and then you can use like a color that you want. I would go with my action color or my primary color. And then this one, again, activate this, style, typography, and change the color here of the text. And you do the same thing to this one. Activate the class, typography, and text color. Okay. So what we need to do right now is this is to basically have some padding. Okay, so if you want to check how it looks already, you can just duplicate this card. 4 times, and as you can see now we have the structure. If you want to add rounded border to this element, you need to click on the container and then go on border here, and then here right click and you use the radius that you want. I would go with the XXL and then click once here, and now we have, you know, our element set it up correctly. Then anyway, let's add some spacing between these two elements because I don't really like they are very close to each other. So click on the container and get back to content, and just instead of content gap, try container gap or grid gap. Nope, container gap is a little bit better. And yeah, so what we actually need to do is to change the cards now, and in the inner two I have my simple card. With the simple card selected, I would go in this way. I would try to add some padding, so go on and activate this class, style, layout, and padding. I would right click, and you know, you can add content gap in this way, okay, and just change this one like that. Content gap is not really what I wanted to use, so let me try to use like an M or an L, as you wish. Let's go with an M, and then do the same thing, click twice, okay. Now looks a little bit better, and yeah, so here the content, you can change it as you wish. And the other thing I need to do is the line, right? So on the simple card still selected, I just need to go on where is it, border, click on border here, and then style, solid, and on the top you need to add the how many pixels you want. And as you can see, we already done this. We did a line. If I get on the design, the line is very dark, so you can style it as you wish. I will try to change the color to something lighter like this, okay. And then what you need to do is to actually add a pseudo classes. You need to click on this little icon here, and if you click on this, basically it allows you now to make changes for the mouse hover effect. So once you click that, you have this little input box, and you click on hover, and with hover selected, now I'm able to change the border color. So if I click here on border and change the color here, I can use this color here, and it's showing me now, as I'm on hover, it's showing me how it looks, the hover style. But later I will show you how it actually works. And if you want to add, you know, this effect here, like this fade in, fade off effect, you need to go on CSS here and say all, and say 0.5 seconds, for example, and ease. I will copy this transition because I need to copy this transition and put it also on the default status, otherwise it won't work. So you copy this, then you click on clear, okay, to exit from the hover effect styling, okay. You will find a number 1 means that one hover effect is activate, okay, means that you made some hover effect, okay. And now, as you can see here, everything disappeared because I'm in the default mode right now, and I can paste again my transition. Okay, so what happens now is that when I mouse over, look at this, we have our mouse over effect, and you can, you know, test it right away. Cool, right? Great. So we was able to create this section very quickly. Of course, we did not use a full width section because we have a boxed website. Let's say you want it exactly like this one, so that it takes the full width. What you can do is basically go back here, click on the container, go on style, of course, and then width, and just type in 100%. You can save that. And now if I get back here, as you can see, I have the full width, of course, and the elements inside of it. So it's more similar now to this one. Okay, so now this is full width, but you know, let's say I want those elements to be narrower, like I don't want that they take all this space. of course, you can go on the inner two and say width and give him a specific width like XXL, for example, okay, and save it. And if I get back here and update this, as you can see now, this will be, you know, keeping his width without getting the full weight or whatever. So now we need to check actually, you know, the mobile responsiveness and whatever. So if I get here, looks amazing. Look at this. If I get here, it's starting to be a little bit of a problem. And in that case, we need to change the structure. So I would start not from here, but from the mobile landscape, for example. And here with inner two, I need to click on it and just go on content and grid template column. Just right click on it and just say 2. And in this way, as you can see, you get this effect here. Okay, the thing's still working. And then yeah, it looks great. You can keep it like this if you want. You can add some more spacing if you want between the cards as you wish. And on mobile, I would go probably with a single column if I want, if you wish, because to me it's taking really too much space, because this is already boxed and on mobile it's hard to read. So click on here and basically go on 1 and you get, you know, the mobile version with this effect here. Of course, it's a lot better. So to recap, we have mobile vertical, then this one is like this, and that 4 columns, and on the desktop 4 columns. So I hope the tutorial, guys, was useful. Of course, if you like the video, thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to get notified for new videos. And yeah, comment if you have any question, and see you in the next video. Bye.